interwebs, and thanks for tuning into TradeChat. My name's Panzer, and today I'm going to be bringing you 39 things that you should know about patch 6.0. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. So you may or may not know that Warlords of Draenor is right around the corner. It is coming out November 13th, 2014, and I am so excited. And before every expansion is a major pre-expansion pack. In this case, it is patch 6.0. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff that is coming with patch 6.0, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. With patch 6.0, we can expect the new character models and animations for dwarves, gnomes, humans, night elves, orc, tauren, trolls, undead, and draenei. The patch will also be bringing with it the Iron Horde Incursion World event to prepare players for Warlords of Draenor. If you would like to participate in this event, head to the Blasted Lands and look for the Dark Portal, which will be more like the Blood Red Portal. Also, there will be a revamped 5-player version of Upper Blackrock Spire for level 90 players. Patch 6.0 will be implementing improvements to the questing experience. Quest items will no longer take up bag space, your quest log will be integrated right into your world map, and your quests will be sorted by proximity to your character. Bags just got better. Items in your bag will now feature a colored border which will indicate the item quality, and trade skill items will stack up to 200. You will also be able to set certain bags so that they'll only hold certain item types, and there will be a bag sort button that will help keep you organized. Behold the glory of the toy box! Most of your fun, unused type items will now be stored in the toy box tab. Now, much like the pet and mount tabs, it will show both of your unlocked and locked items, meaning that certain players who may or may not be hoarders will just have motivation to get more dumb items that don't actually help you in-game at all. A bank tab has been added specifically to store reagents and raw materials. On top of that, you can craft items using the materials in your bank from anywhere in the world. Thank the old gods. If you are still somehow worried about bag space, you'll be happy to know that in addition to all of the things I have mentioned, also being added is another 98-slot void storage tab. In Warlords of Draenor, the Legendary Cloak questline will be removed, so if you haven't gotten your cloak by November 13th, you can't get it ever. Until 6.0 launches, we will be treated to the buff, the Gaze of the Black Prince, which gives players bonus reputation with the Black Prince, as well as a better chance of obtaining items needed for the quest. Now, once 6.0 launches, the buff will be gone, as well as the Test of Valor requirement for the quest. Players that are on Test of Valor and are still working at earning their 3,000 Valor points will be skipped ahead to the next part of the quest. So the TLDR of all of this is that if you want your legendary cloak and you haven't got it yet, do it now, or forever don't get your cloak. Before we move on from the legendary cloak, I feel like it is worth noting that in patch 6.0, it will no longer be required to have the legendary cloak to enter the Ordon Sanctuary or to be eligible for loot from Ordos. So that means even without the legendary cloak in 6.0, leather casters have a chance to win the item that bears my name's likeness. I'm so sorry for my shamelessness. Oops. Garrosh's Kor'kron guards will be gone from Horde cities and settlements. Finally. The Mount Journal will now give players information on where and how they can obtain mounts. Players will be able to set mounts as their favorite, and it will place them at the top of the list. Also, there will be a button that players can use to summon a random favorite mount. Oh yeah, and the best mount change ever, all flying mounts will be usable as land mounts. And before you ask, no, your seahorse will not hop around on land, despite how hilariously amusing that would be. Reforging has been removed, and the reforging mount, the Grand Expedition Yak, will now provide transmogrification services instead. Season 1 of the Brawlers Guild will come to an end, and all achievements associated with the Brawlers Guild will be converted into feats of strength. Season 2 will start in Warlords of Draenor and will feature account-wide membership. With the launch of patch 6.0, PvP Season 15 will come to an end, and until the beginning of Season 16, rated battlegrounds and arena will be temporarily unavailable. Safeguards have been added to prevent players from accidentally flagging themselves for PvP. Players will have to manually flag themselves for PvP in order to heal or do damage to PvP flagged characters. Also, players on PvE realms will receive a confirmation prompt warning them that they're crossing over to a PvP realm before they do so. Because good guy Blizzard, right? The fabled number squish is finally upon us. All of the numbers in the game are getting squished down to a more reasonable level. And before I go any further, I do want to make sure everybody understands that this is not a nerf. While your stats will be lower, everything else in the game will be proportionally lower as well. So this won't affect your power or your ability to solo old content. For the most part, everybody seems either happy or indifferent to this change, except for Million Health DKs. Million Health DKs are pretty mad. Primary stats, intellect, agility, and strength have been reworked in an attempt to improve balance. Agility and intellect will no longer increase players' chance to critically strike with melee and ranged attacks or abilities. All players will have a base critical strike chance of 5%. Agility users will be given a new passive called Critical Strikes, very creative name, Blizzard, that will increase their chance to critically strike by 10%. Dodge and parry will still exist in the game, but will no longer be stats that you see on gear. Additionally, the amount of dodge gained from agility and parry gained from strength will be reduced by 25%. The gear stats, dodge and parry, will be replaced by a new secondary stat called bonus armor, which will increase the armor and attack power of tank spec players. When patch 6.0 goes live, this is a change that will affect Mists of Pandaria gear, with dodge or parry being replaced by bonus armor. Now, if you have a piece of gear that has both dodge and parry on it, you will get bonus armor and another useful secondary stat. In addition to the new secondary stat, bonus armor, 2 other new secondary stats have been added. The first is called multi-strikes and grants a chance for spells and abilities to fire up to 2 additional times at 30% effectiveness. Multi-strike affects both damage and healing abilities. The second is called versatility and increases damage, healing, and absorption done and reduces damage taken. Hit and expertise are being removed as stats. All players will have a 100% chance to hit, a 0% chance to be dodged, 0% chance at glancing blows, and 3% chance to be parried when fighting monsters up to 3 levels higher than them. Tanks will receive an additional 3% parry reduction, meaning that they will have a 0% chance to be parried. Characters who are dual wielding will still have a 19% chance to miss to balance the fact that they have 2 weapons to hit with. To increase the chance that a piece of loot will be used by a member of your group when it is dropped, Blizzard has made it so that all plate gear will have both strength and intellect, and all leather and mail gear will have both agility and intellect. This will come in handy when respecking as well, since most pieces of gear will be usable in multiple specs. Racial traits have been completely reworked, and I already did a video outlining all of those changes. If you are interested, you can click anywhere on the screen to open the video in a new tab or in the link in the info below. The pre-expansion patch is bringing with it some major changes to PvP. Base resilience is being reduced down to 0%. Battle fatigue is being reduced to 20%, down from 60%, and critical damage and critical heals in PvP will now deal 150% of the spell or ability effect, down from 200. Did I mention that your health will be doubled? Because, yeah, in 6.0, the amount of health gained per stamina point will be doubled. Your maximum mana has been doubled as well. All consumables will restore twice as much health and mana. All creatures' melee damage has been doubled. Most creatures' spells and abilities have been adjusted to account for larger health pool. Player cast heals and absorbs have been increased by 50% unless they heal or absorb a percentage of maximum health, in which case they've been decreased by 25%. This should all make sense when the patch goes live, hopefully. Aside from the things that I've already mentioned, there are a lot of major changes taking place for healers in patch 6.0. For instance, smart heals will no longer heal the most injured friendly target and instead will heal a random injured friendly target. Long cast, single target heals will cost about half as much mana yet heal for roughly the same amount as quick cast single target heals. Every healing class will have multiple AoE heals to choose from, varying in mana efficiency and healing amount. AoE heals have been fine-tuned to be most efficient when healing 3 or more targets, basically punishing healers for using AoE heals in unnecessary situations. In most cases, healers will notice that cooldown spells will be more efficient than spells without a cooldown. And that was the TLDR version of the healing changes. You're welcome. Come patch 6.0, every class in the game will surely notice what Blizzard is dubbing as ability pruning. What the heck is ability pruning, Panzer, is probably what you're asking right now. To that I would say that Blizzard has either merged together or removed abilities that weren't as necessary as other abilities. In a lot of cases, cooldowns that were often macroed together were merged, or abilities that just went unused were removed entirely. To see how this affects your class specifically, I would highly recommend checking out the link to the patch notes in the description of this video. Crowd control took a big hit in patch 6.0. All silences attached to interrupts have been removed. Now don't worry, silences are still a thing. They are just independent of interrupts. Disarms have been removed entirely, and many other crowd controls have been removed or have had their restrictions and cooldowns increased. It's probably going to get redundant from here on out in the video, but to see how that affects your class specifically, I have conveniently linked the patch notes in the information below. Diminishing returns have been seriously nerfed. Or buffed. I guess it depends on whether you're doing the CCing or being CC'd, but I digress. There are fewer diminishing return categories, which effectively limits the amount of crowd control in the game. All roots will now share diminishing returns. All stuns will now share diminishing returns. All mesmerize, horror, and incapacitating effects will now share, you guessed it, diminishing returns. In addition to all of the diminishing return and crowd control changes that I have already mentioned, Pet CC is being limited and in some cases removed, long fears will be shorter in PvP, and PvP trinkets will grant immunity from reapplication of the same spell that you're trinketing out of, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, there's just so much more information in the patch notes, and guess where they're linked? Movement speed bonuses have been changed to be all logical and whatnot. Previously, it was confusing because if you had two 25% movement speed bonuses, that somehow gave you an additional 56% movement speed, and I'm not even going to try to do that math, but in 6.0, if you have two 25% movement speed bonuses, guess how much additional movement speed you're going to have?
You do the math.
If you said 50%, you can pat yourself on the back because you can do basic addition. Aw, yeah. Okay, so this one is pretty TLDR'd, but the video would be obscenely long if I got into all of the specifics, so the quick and dirty version is that many buffs or debuffs have been merged or removed if they were redundant. So I probably should have mentioned this back when I was talking about all the healing changes, but we're here now, so YOLO. A bunch of instant cast heals in 6.0 will be given cast timers, and on that note, I just want to state that I am so happy that I'm not a healer, because all those changes that Obama promised back in 2008, healers are getting them now. Dots and HOTS in 6.0 will now dynamically recalculate their damage, healing, crit, and multipliers on every tick. So this means if you cast a dot or a HOT with a cooldown like Bloodlust, when Bloodlust ends, your dot or HOT will recalculate accordingly. If you happen to know what the term snapshotting meant prior to 6.0, just know that that's not a thing that you can do anymore. Blizzard's not even sorry. Facing requirements have been significantly loosened. Druid Shred and Ravage no longer require the Druid to be behind the target. Rogue's Ambush no longer requires the Rogue to be behind the target, and Subtlety Rogue's Backstab allow the Rogue to be on either side or behind the target. Giggity.
Panzer forgot 35, so I'm doing it now.
Self-sustainability has been improved to help players in situations where they are frequently killing enemies, such as while questing. To see how this affects your class, you know what to do.
In patch 6.0, combat resurrections are seeing some pretty cool changes. All combat reses will share a single raid-wide pool of charges that will be visible on the action bar button. When you pull a boss, you will have one charge, and then charges will generate at 1 per 90 divided by the raid size's minutes. I know that sounds confusing, so bear with me. If you have a raid size of 10, you will generate an additional charge every 9 minutes because 90 divided by 10 is 9. If you have a raid size of 20, you'll generate additional charges every 4 minutes and 30 seconds because 90 divided by 20 is 4.5. You with me? You with me? All right, good. Another cool change is that a charge will only be taken from the pool when somebody successfully accepts their resurrection, aka if some jerk butt AFKs and doesn't take his battle res, then you can just battle res someone else, and it's kind of awesome, right? Unsurprisingly, some glyphs have been removed and some new ones have been added. Also, as you are leveling up, you will learn some glyphs automatically so that poor little leveling characters aren't getting extorted by big bad auction housers. Of course, if you are interested in seeing how this affects your class specifically, I have some stuff linked in some places, which I've mentioned a couple times in this video already if you were paying attention. Best profession changes ever! No, seriously, it's pretty awesome. There will be no hard level caps on mines or herbs throughout the game, so your level will not determine whether or not you can pick a flower or mine a node. Your level will determine what you'll gather from your efforts, whether it'll be something junky or something awesome. And that's so cool. I don't even know. That's awesome. There are no talks yet of whether that will carry over to something like skinning or disenchanting or lockpicking, but I'd like to take this opportunity to formally request that Blizzard apply it at least to a gathering profession like skinning, because leatherworkers need love too. Of course, the 38 things that I've told you so far in this video are just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many class changes and other specific things that I haven't even gotten into because it's like a big ball. It's like a big ball of ice and you can only see a little bit of it, but it's huge and I don't want to hit it. So I've opted to turn this ship around so that Jack doesn't have to let go. I got a little off track there, but I am just so excited for Warlords of Draenor, and this patch is like the first little taste that we're going to get of the expansion before it comes out on November 13th. For more information on this patch, I have a link in the info below, and I would recommend that you check it out, because I didn't put it there for nothing. Let me know in the comment section below if you are excited for Warlords of Draenor and patch 6.0. If you enjoyed this video, please thumb it up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna go. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope you're excited for the expansion, and I hope that you get all the loot that you're trying to get and whatnot. I love you all. You're in my heart. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. 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 Stay still. Quite. Indubitably. My lip gloss is popping. No. No. Not okay. Never okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ew. Ugh. Bleh. Bleh, bleh. Not the words I was going for. Whoa, my chair's really slidey today. Get where you belong. Which, for players that may or may motherfuck. Oh yeah. Indubitably. Oh, words that aren't words, part 1. You can craft items from the well as the gaze of the... No, I was doing so good. I did my best. I did my best. In Warlords of Draenor, the legendary quest cloak... No! Damn it! They'll do something, alright. Just PvP Season 16. Fuck, I bit my mouth, I said the wrong number. I'm all sorts of fucked up. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? And until PvP to flag as I have literally been filming for like 45 minutes already, and I just took a coffee break. So if the lighting or if anything looks different, It's because I turned the camera off and it's back on now, so what are you gonna do? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That was awesome. I did good. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Will cost about half as much mana as short cast single target heal. I mean, silences are still a thing. Really, school bus? It is 7:10 p.m. Why are you here? Why are you here? All stuns. Oh, damn it. Fucking damn. What is it? Then your trinket will grant oh, fuck. And trinketing. Fuck! And PvP trinkets. And PvP trinkets. If you said 50%, pat yourself on the back, because you can do basic addition. Oh, yeah. Things that you're going to have. 15% bonus. 56. Those aren't even similar numbers. On a side note, I've actually opted not to take a honeymoon because my wedding date is so close to the expansion release date, and that's like where I am in my life. If I could set my Facebook status to in an unhealthy relationship with the Horde, that would be more accurate of any of the options that I actually have.